All right, welcome back. My name is Ben, and I'm an alcoholic. This is the fourth part of Foreward to the Second Edition with my friend Jim B. We are on page XX, which is Roman numeral 20, and we were just finishing up the paragraph where it talks about the percentage of sober alcoholics who go through the AA program. So I'm going to pick it up from another reason for the wide acceptance of AA was the ministration of friends in medicine, religion, and the press, together with innumerable others who became our able and persistent advocates. Without such support, AA could have only made the slowest progress. Some of the recommendation of AA's early medical and religious friends will be found further on in this book. Alcoholics Anonymous is not a religious organization. Neither does AA take any particular medical point of view, though we cooperate widely with the men of medicine as well as the men of religion. Alcohol being no respecter of persons, we are an accurate cross-section of America. In distant lands, the same democratic evening up process is now going on. And so as we now know, AA is actually an accurate cross-section of the entire planet. Mm-hmm. I go to an online meeting where we have people from all over the globe.
All over the globe.
Every single day.
Exactly.
It's based in New York City, and I'm in the middle of the country in Oklahoma, and there are people from California and England and Australia, Thailand. It is unbelievable. And again, it's a cross-section. It's not just, it's everybody.
Correct.
Anybody and everybody it comes. It's beautiful. It says by personal religious affiliation, we include Catholics, Protestants, Jews, Hindus, and a sprinkling of Muslims and Buddhists. And more than 15% of us are women today. And we know that those numbers have obviously changed.
Of course.
Whatever proportion of women there are in your location, that's probably going to be reflected in AA meetings as well.
Correct.
Which is about half.
Exactly.
Pretty much everywhere. So at present, our membership is pyramiding at the rate of about 20% a year. So far, upon the total problem of several million actual and potential alcoholics in the world, we've made only a scratch. In all probability, we shall never be able to touch more than a fair fraction of the alcohol problem in all its ramifications. Upon therapy for the alcoholic himself, we surely have no monopoly. Yet, it's our hope that all those who've yet found no answer may begin to find one in the pages of this book and will presently join us on the high road to a new freedom.
Wow. When I read this about the cross-section, how it's expanded, and actually this is written back in 39, to think, or actually this is written in the 50s, but to think, I would urge you, if you haven't, but I would urge you in 2025 to start saving now to go to Vancouver to the international conference. They didn't have the one in 2020 because of COVID, which was going to be in Detroit. But I would urge you to please go to an international conference. My first one I went to was in San Diego in '95, and I said I would never miss another one. but I missed San Antonio in 2010. But when you go to San Diego, Minneapolis, San Antonio, Toronto, Atlanta, places where they have these football stadiums, and see the stadium packed full of Alcoholics Anonymous, there's a God, period. When you see the flag ceremony on Friday night that is equal to the Olympics opening ceremony, in Atlanta in 2015, 94 countries were represented. 94 countries were at that conference. And when you're holding hands, saying the Lord's Prayer, and the person next to you saying it in their language, and you're saying it in your language, you know there's a God. You cannot describe the synergy that has started. If you can't make it to an international conference, I'd urge you to go to Akron, Ohio, to Founders Day, or even just go to Akron and go to the archives at the Central Service Office and see how this all started. The time my wife and I went there, we went there for Founders Day, but we got there 3 days early. And so we went to the actual Central Service Office there where they have all the archives. And we were given basically a one-on-one tour, you know, and this guy had us go and sit down in a conference room. He said, I'll be back in a minute. He comes back holding something that was encased, wearing white gloves, and he put it in front of me. Is the original manuscript.
Oh, wow.
Margins, everything written on the margins, and, I looked at that. I got to see my Magna Carta, my Declaration of Independence, my Constitution, and I lost it.
Yeah.
Then we went to the Mayflower Hotel after that. The Mayflower Hotel is now a senior citizen facility, but because we're in Alcoholics Anonymous, they'll allow you to go to the lobby. You just press the button and tell them that you're in AA. And so we did that. Excuse me. And I got to walk the lobby of the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And I got to walk on hallowed ground. And I got to walk into that phone booth.
How cool.
And the church directory is still there. They have a replica of a 1939 or 1935 phone in there. So there, I left there after a spiritual epiphany, there in the lobby, and went to Dr. Bob's house.
Wow, cool.
And when you walk up the steps, there's 12 steps to get to the house.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah. And then you walk in the room, walk in the door, and somebody says, welcome home. And you sit there in the kitchen. The coffee pot's still there. You sit there at the coffee pot, and I had another spiritual epiphany. 2 guys and God. Imagine that.
It's unbelievable.
From there, went to the hospital. The Sister Ignatia Hall is now a treatment center. But got to go there and see the history there. Then got to go to that night to the first AA group, the King School group. I said, I would urge you, if you ever get a chance, to do that. And when you read the Vision for You, you say, yeah, I've been there. I know that. Yeah, I've been to that house.
And for anybody who's going through this in order, A Vision for You will be one of the last chapters we'll go through in this book. And that's what he's talking about with the church directory and all that stuff. So we'll see that then at the end. So that's kind of a little premonition of what's to come, if you will.
Definitely. So, but again, I wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to allow me to do this today. And I look forward to doing it again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And just to recap real quick, if you want to help me out here, Jim, too, I just want to say a couple of notes that I've got here. The book here is the common denominator of Alcoholics Anonymous. The numbers that we saw earlier, which was, a general 80%, give or take, we'll say 10%, plus or minus 10%. The numbers aren't based off of meeting attendance. They're based off of going through these steps.
Going through the steps.
Yep.
Correct.
And this is something my sponsor said that I just think is funny that I'm going to pass along to the next guy. It says, AA isn't self-help. If it was, I'd be at the house watching the game. It's I help you and God helps me.
Exactly.
I mean, and then it says it ain't about luck. I guarantee it. you never have to live that way again. You will be changed despite you.
That's right.
So, Jim, it has truly been a pleasure to go through this with you.
Without doubt.
So far we've got Bill's story, and that will probably be released on a podcast. And, hopefully we can do some more in the near future.
No kidding.
And so it's been a pleasure. And again, it's been a pleasure to have you all listening in on this. I hope that it helps you, and I hope that you can help somebody else with it.
Exactly.
And so until the next episode, God bless you and keep you till then.
Keep trudging.
Keep trudging.